The Aloha Hour with Johny and Dewey.
All right. Welcome back, everyone. So great to be here. As usual, we have a very special guest and a very good friend of ours. I almost said the name. Let me give you the right introduction. He is the franchisee of F45 in Hawaii and in the pursuit of expanding the F45 Training Franchise within the Hawaiian Islands. His ultimate passion and calling is to build a community center to provide a community for at-risk youth kids in Hawaii in order to prevent abuse and sex trafficking. He is an athlete, a personal coach, a father, and most of all, a good friend. He is Shane Davies.
Yeah.
What's up, my brother? How you doing?
Good, thank you. Yeah.
Welcome back, welcome home.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, Shane, first of all, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah.
And I know your schedule is busy with all what you do, but introduce yourself a little to the audience, talk a little bit about yourself, you know, how you got to where you are and so on and so forth, and take us for a ride.
Cool. So I'm 50 this year.
Yeah!
And
Wait. When's your birthday?
September 24.
No way.
Ooh, Libra.
Nice.
Yeah.
Libra.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Mimi, my wife, September 24.
Wow. Two
And-
Libras in the house.
Wolf broke water September 24.
Oh my God. That's divine right there, my friend. Yeah.
But he wanted his own birthday, so he was born 2 days later, 26. So Mimi had a crazy labor. But yeah.
Wait, before we start, did anyone ever tell you that you look like the local Robert Downey Jr.?
Yeah.
Well, let's make a toast.
Let's
real
make a
quick.
toast.
I
Yeah.
really miss both of you guys. Jason Aquino is here, by the way. He's sitting over there.
Undercover.
And these two are like of a package deal.
Yeah.
And we're so blessed to have him at the Kakoa podcast and have you guys coming back here. It was such I feel like a really reunion, but continue on. Welcome home, man.
Yeah, so grew up on Kauai. Passion was skateboarding back in the days, to boogie boarding and then surfing, diving, all that good stuff. And then realized I wasn't going to go to college, so I joined the Marine Corps and did 4 years, went to the first war, but it was very mellow. It was in 1990. Then obviously missed home, went back to Kauai, started doing what everybody else was doing back in the early 90s. And
What was that?
Partying.
partying, drug dealing, stuff that really took my soul. I remember Dad looked at me one day and he didn't even know what I was doing. He's like, I didn't raise you like this, and I didn't even say anything. He was like, there's something not right, and that kind of put in check my heart, and I stopped pretty quick. So
I'm sorry,
glad.
Shane, I hate to interrupt, but can you
No
give
worries.
the audience the age where you were at? 'Cause it's important for audience to understand, because back then, how old were you when all that was going on?
22.
Okay. Yeah, in your 20s. Okay.
Yeah, 22. So I got out. I went in the Marine Corps like at 18, got out 22, 23, did my deal, and then, moved to Oahu 95, 96. And then, try to go to school and work the construction kind deals and stuff, and then got into different businesses and started opening my mind. And I think at 28, I read my first book finally.
Yeah!
Yeah. How to Win Friends and Influence People. And I think
Dale Carnegie.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Great book.
Yeah, and honestly, I say I've read that book, but I think I just read one chapter and realized I got it. Outside of like when I went to war, I read Revelations because when you're 19, 20, you're
The
going
book
to
of
the promised land.
Book of Revelation?
Yeah.
Woo!
So
Man, you don't mess around.
Oh no!
Straight to the book of Revelation. Yo!
Yeah, end of the world. But and then moved here and chasing girls, getting married, making babies, working corporate America, and started back in with like 24-hour fitness, then went into that technology, then always doing my side gigs, selling nutrition stuff and being around that. Skateboarding, surfing a little bit, jiu-jitsu, of course.
So basically, being an athlete was something you always had in you. Being active, being outside.
I like to play.
That's a fun way to say it.
Yeah.
Because I just always like playing and stuff. I've never been that one that always wanted to win, and it was probably a bad thing I probably took when I was younger. I didn't care about competitions and stuff like that. But I just like to play. I always like to do stuff. So, and then when I fell into like when I found CrossFit, I remember reading, and I just read like half the page. It was about Brian at Oahu CrossFit. I said, wow, this sounds like a way I could start my own business, because I didn't have money either back then. And long story short, started our first CrossFit and partnered up with some buddies in Ilikai. It was CrossFit.
Ilikai Hotel. Shout out to the Ilikai Hotel, the
Yeah.
luxury suites.
Yeah.
With 1777 Ala Moana, where we have also our Hawaiian Aroma Cafe.
Yeah, exactly, right there. Yeah.
So you were the original owner of the CrossFit that was there?
There's a couple guys there. Yeah, Jason Clark and Marcus Souza.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, you guys were pioneers. You were the early ones.
Yeah, what year is that? Like
2009 or 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, then we got kicked out of there because the 12th floor was hearing the weights drop.
Oh
So
my gosh.
that's where I was scouting, and I remember writing on the wall, it's like, Umeke Market's going to close and Whole Foods opens up. And sure enough, they did. And no one prospected them. I went in there and called, found out who the landlord at that time, and got a good deal in there, and started CrossFit. Failed at that for 5 years. I still maintained a job, which probably,
So wait, so you worked and you had the gym,
Oh, yeah.
which you were the coach of? So you were teaching literally after you worked your whole day, you went and worked out CrossFit.
Kind of. I would be at the gym at 5 a.m., coach till about 8 a.m., then go to work, then come back, and then repeat the cycle. And then you see me pushing the thing and cleaning the floors at 8 o'clock. So
What was your regular job, the 9 to 5? What was that?
at that time, what was that when I first? It was I was managing a Marine Corps contract with a company called Granger.
Okay.
Yeah, with the GSA schedule. So
Right.
selling stuff to the military,
Right,
all kind
right.
of different stuff. Yeah.
Will you fall in love with CrossFit right away when you discovered it? Like, was it like, ooh, just like jiu-jitsu, did it speak to you in that sense?
No.
No? Okay. yeah.
I did one workout and I realized, holy crap, that's going to 24 hours is totally different.
Right.
I hate working out. I
Okay.
love jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
It's not a workout, but doing the lifting and stuff. I like the results of it. But
Right.
it's not like, oh, I'm going to go lift weights today.
Right.
I like to lift by myself.
Right.
And, what I did fall in love with is people. It sounds corny, but,
Not at all, man.
to this day, I still have those friends that are there, kids that are not kids anymore,
Right.
and then the results, when the uncle tells you, oh, yeah, Shane, I'm off my medication. Like, how long you been off your medication? Oh, well, 6 months. Like, you hear these things.
Right.
And, there's thousands of those stories.
Right.
So, and that's when we talked about this before. My dad was like, Shane, don't worry, because I was kind of tripping out. When what am I going to do? And he's like, don't worry, do something you love.
Right.
Then when I came a young adult, it's like, well, I love women,
Yeah.
alcohol, and
Yeah.
So it's I didn't concept that, so I started trying to, hence the dark ages, and then so I where was I going? So I followed corporate America.
Yeah.
Nice Aloha shirts. At that time was that Ferragamo shoes, like that kind. I never.
Ferragamo
He went in
shoes.
deep.
No,
Wow,
I didn't.
dang.
All the other cool sales guys did and
okay.
everything. So that was like goals, and and went and then got married, and my main focus is take care of my kids, take care of my family, all that good stuff. and wasn't really happy. I didn't do jujitsu that much. I didn't surf as much. I didn't skate. I did all the things I liked. Then when I got divorced at 38, and I had extra time now.
Right.
And then I started acting like I was 20-something, and I said, but I can't do this anymore. And that's when CrossFit popped up. And then that's when I realized, 3, 4, 5 years in, I didn't make any money at CrossFit. It cost me money. To this day, it's costing me money. But I was happy every day. And then when I quit my job at 2018 or 19 to bring over the F45 franchise, because at that time, there's no way I can do both. I didn't make money for a year. And the guy I partnered up with was a member of mine. Come to find out, he's a crook, and didn't make any more money for a year, and actually was almost like ostracized from that location. I had to step away because we had to go litigation. Just some crazy stuff you'd see in a 80s high school movie or something.
Yeah.
But I didn't care. I always just stayed the course. But again, back to my point, I always loved what I was doing. And at that point, in 2019, I was paying to keep CrossFit alive. And
so basically,
I didn't care.
You had a day job, and you had a job that was your dream that was technically failing, losing money.
Yeah.
You're work your ass off every morning, every day, every evening, and you're losing money.
Yeah.
And you got to do that all over again and again. 30 days, 365 a year.
At age 38, right?
At that time, I was earning
40,
my 40s,
you know, 40,
43,
okay,
44, 45.
Tell me, I want to know, what do you tell yourself? I mean, I know that your dad told you, do something that you love.
Yeah.
But when you go to sleep and you know that you're not making money, and the money that you do make from your other job, you spend and to keep your dream alive.
Yeah.
What do you tell yourself?
Do you know what's so crazy? I didn't really talk to myself, to be honest. It was really weird. I would say maybe kept focused, okay, gotta do it, and always had that faith it's gonna be good. And I never embraced negativity. And I could have, a lot of my old school friends, all my friends are like, why is this guy around? You know what I mean? And I was like, trust me, that's not gonna do anything. But it was something weird. Maybe it was I don't know, maybe a divine protection over my spirit and mind. And a lot of people criticized me. A lot of my friends, people didn't know me. They thought I was weak.
Yeah.
They thought, but back to your questions, I always just said, so I did tell myself something. It's good will always prevail. It's you cannot break God's laws. I'm not talking religion, but there is God's laws, and here's one: gravity. Tell me someone who can break gravity. And I put gravity and law of reciprocation, karma.
Yeah.
It comes back.
Yeah.
That it comes back.
I think what you said about 3 sentences ago is so powerful, and I think everyone out there doesn't matter where you are in part of life right now, whether you're in COVID, you're starting a business. When you said, I had faith that everything's going to be okay. I don't, and just like you, Shane, I didn't learn that also until we launched Kekoa, and myself personally, because I think that's so important, because until you truly believe the journey you're on and embrace everything about it, whether it makes money, doesn't make money, and all the shit in it, right? It's the same thing with jiu-jitsu, right? You get beat, you get grind. You just gotta believe all this will pass, and the goodness, right, will come. And I think that's so important, because a lot of people out there, they're when that shit hits, when everyone's against you, including your family and your partner, you gotta have faith. This will pass, and it's gonna be okay. And that's so powerful for you to standing here to express that. And I want to reiterate that for the rest of the audience out there.
But where's the fine balance between being stubborn and fighting for something that might not work, and something that you're passionate about and you're willing to break every wall?
May I answer this question?
100%.
Yeah. Okay. Stubborn has to do with the ego. and faith has to do with a higher divine belief, right? So that's a difference.
Nice.
So stubbornness is about your ego, your sense of self, go, and then, okay. Higher divine is almost, faith is about letting go of that ego, a belief of what you're doing is the right thing, not only for you, for the greater good of humanity, the greater cause. That's what faith is, because faith has nothing to do with the ego, right, Shane? And I'm sorry, I
But
think...
is it the faith in you, or is it the faith in Jesus?
There's two things. Yeah, there's faith and faith.
I think he meant a little faith in Jesus.
Jesus.
I'm not so sure he meant Jesus. He just said God is okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
God.
Yeah. I'll let you answer. I'm sorry.
Yeah. You know, that's another thing too. Yeah, I am Christian, but at the same note, and I'm gonna rub people wrong this way. When people ask Jesus for something, I think that's the same thing as using Jesus' name in vain. Because if they're asking for something in this world and materialistic,
Like materialistic.
it's
Yeah.
does God really care about that? I highly doubt that. And so
I tell you why I'm asking, because
Yeah.
there was a time in my life where I opened a business. I thought it's going to be amazing. I convinced my wife that she's going to run the business. It was in Aloha shopping center.
Yeah.
And we suffered every day. Every day. Open. You don't make money. You don't. And I'm like, no, it's going to work. It's just got to marketing, and I got to organize better. I got to spend more money. I got to spend more money. I got to make it better. I got to make. Until my wife said, babe, it's been 4 months. It's not working. It's the high season. If they didn't buy it today, they're not going to buy it tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And the moment we closed it was such a relief. You know what I mean? So sometimes the stubbornness, like you said, interferes with the... You don't know, is it stubbornness or is it faith? Do I believe in myself, or do I just want it for the ego? And I think this is where it makes the difference, if you're going to succeed or you're going to fail. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And sometimes the road to success leads you to multiple failure, right? And I think that's what Shane is. I love that face. Yeah, I love that face you're making right now, because I think if I'm hearing you right correctly, Shane, that you were saying that, hey, look, I'm having... he say faith. Faith is the divine, whatever you want to call it, whatever your religious thing. I just got to have faith, right? You have faith that all this will work out for the greater good, right? So I think, if I'm hearing correctly, I think that's what he's saying. I agree with you. I think, like everything in life, I think we have to operate in truth. Without truth, imagine right now all of us sitting here, right? And we're thinking, oh, the world is flat. So the whole entire science, everything else we do, caters for this thing. And when we wake up, holy F, we're all wrong. The thing is round. Then imagine that, right? So it's same thing in our life, same thing in our business, same thing in our relationship. It's permeate everything that we do. So until we look at life at its pure state and truth, it's hard for us to operate. And what steers us away from the truth is our ego, right? The ego is, that thing wants to live.
That's the devil.
Yeah, it does, right? Forever, And I think until you understand, truth is, it's tough,
Yeah.
It takes time.
Yeah, it takes time. Yeah. But I am so because I think Shane, I don't know how many people sat in that chair, even Kara yesterday. The journey you've gone through in your 20s is so, isn't that true, Jonathan? From McCool, from Kalawa, from Billy Kemp, everyone that sat in that chair, we all done those things in our 20s. And none of us really know what our true north is until much later in life. So your journey is very normal. And for you to sit here and be vulnerable enough to share with the audience that now you have a really successful, amazing company and brand is a tribute to all those failures, right? All those mistakes, and everyone, true or not true, everyone's out here, I hear the same thing, and I know you were like, no, man, women and drugs, that's normal. That's what the 20-year-old ego wants, right? 'Cause that's what we feel, we're like...
Invincible.
Yeah, invincible.
Until you fuck it up.
So how was F45 came about, in the sense of you saw a door, an opportunity that there's not a major brand, in Hawaii for F45.
Well, maybe explain to people, what is F45? What's the difference between CrossFit and F45? Because I don't know.
Beautiful. Great question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, CrossFit is a brand, if you will, and it's a mix of Olympic lifting, powerlifting, everything under the sun. Hence, going into functional fitness.
Yeah.
F45 is a franchise from Australia, which focuses on functional fitness. So, kind of all the above, but you're not going to be like an expert in Olympic lifting. Where in some CrossFit places they can do it. What I liked about F45 is they copy CrossFit a little bit about gamifying workouts. 2, their focus was building a community. And then 3, it was a franchise, so it's very hard to duplicate yourself.
Right.
Especially in the CrossFit world.
Yeah.
Because then you have to be the one that knows everything. With F45, the technology behind it, it's kind of given to me. Everything's given to me, and it has it has what people want. People want functional fitness, and they don't want to be scared to go into a place that's not welcoming.
Is the F for F45 fitness or functional?
Functional.
And the 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so tell us, it's a workout for 45 minutes that should get you the results.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
and you go Google F45 Challenge, which we're starting January 18th. We do it 4 times a year, which, again, they invest in hundreds of thousands, probably definitely a few million into the software behind it that creates all, I invested into a body fat machine. It's like $6,000. And then it tells you what your body's made out of. You put it into the software or the app, and it tells you what to eat. Then you come to the gym, and then you have coaches to coach you doing that and working out. And you go Google it, and we've helped. When I say we, the franchise has helped hundreds of thousands of people. Now,
One of the owners is Mark Wahlberg.
he wanted to own it, and actually for about 2 years he was trying to get in, and he finally did. And he's brought in an investment company.
Okay.
So one owner just.
But didn't
stepped
he
away.
visit you or something?
Yeah,
Or
he
you
did. He came in January. That guy's 48 or 49 at that
Dude,
time.
he looks sick.
Yeah.
This guy's in shape.
Yeah.
He looks like him. Yeah.
No, not even, dude. I was just.
I remember Mark
5-0.
Wahlberg from back in the day.
Calvin Klein.
From Calvin Klein,
Yeah.
and the one hit song that he had
Well,
when he was boxing, and he has
good
Come on, guys.
sensation. Is that the one?
I don't know.
Huh? Good vibration.
good vibration. Yeah, Jason.
Yeah. But yeah, that was pretty cool. And Mark is a really cool guy. That guy he's a no nonsense guy. It's a pretty trip. Like no nonsense. Everything you talk to him, everything that he says. One thing I really liked about him too. And I said, hey Mark, this is oh my gosh, brain fart right now. One of my members, 19, she represents Hawaii and actually America for the judo team. So not judo, sumo. So she was going. I said, hey Mark, she's representing America and Hawaii sumo wrestling. She's going to Japan. Mark Wahlberg now. So we have, I don't know how many people. We didn't really tell people were coming, but definitely 30-something, 40 people there. He just, for probably 10 minutes, did not let anyone talk to him. Sat that girl in a corner, talked to her. And no one bothered because they saw, and invested time into her. But anyways,
That's
Sounds like it's just
beautiful.
a sincere, authentic human being.
Ava,
Yeah.
Ava girl, where you at? Let's go. Yeah. But, so kind of go, and then go back to your question a little bit. And I was thinking, one thing I love about gym, one thing about fitness, jiu-jitsu, everything above, our product is people. So I've quit other businesses that it was a product, even though it was an excellent product, but once you sell it, it's done. Once you sell a person on themselves, that they can make a change, and they create disciplines in their life, and results is whatever. That's what they'll get. That is literally priceless.
Yeah, so you really are in the business of touching lives, because that's what it is, right? Cause if you touch lives, it shifts compass, it shift their heart, shift their mind, it shift everything, right? So
Yeah.
that you're in the business really touching life. You're not selling product, right?
No.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And it fits you. It fits who you are as a human,
Yeah.
you know, as a person too. Yeah,
Yeah. And I think everyone has that in them.
absolutely.
That's why you see all the kind of all these cheesy Instagrams and all these words and phrases and stuff. But like, we have, like Mother Teresa said, if you're not living a life to serve people,
You're not living.
yeah. So
Life is wasted.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
yeah. And Gladiator said, "What you do in life echoes in eternity."
Yeah.
So if you think of it, does everyone know Martin Luther King? Why? What did he do?
Yeah.
Gandhi or
Yeah.
whoever that is gone years ago.
Yeah.
They're still around.
Yeah.
You know, because they serve people.
Yeah.
You know, why are guys multi billionaires? Because they serve people through like product. You know,
Right,
selling
right.
different things and finding a way. Not saying that all of them are good, but
Right.
yeah. So that's why I'd never kind of quit. I would have to be forced to quit,
Yeah.
which I was. I had to quit CrossFit. Call it CrossFit was 7 years. It was shut in November because the majority of my members were a little bit older, and it just wasn't. They got used to not coming, and the landlords you're gonna have to start paying rent.
Well, just to clarify, you're talking about Corona time.
Yeah, like this month. So actually, I had an F45 franchise, and then I had a CrossFit. I still kept CrossFit, but I put it into a smaller location. And then it kind of ran itself because it was a family of people, that about 60 of them. And then, things happened through COVID. And when it was time to come back, they're like, we can't yet, Shane. And, so.
Could you let the audience know how many locations F45 in Oahu at the moment?
Yeah, there is 4. I'm an owner of 2 of them, Kahala and Kapolei, and then part owner of one in Hawai'i.
Okay.
And then,
So you opened Hawai'i.
yeah,
You launched it. Okay.
yeah, that one's super cool. Amazing results there too already, and creating a little family there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then hopefully Ala Moana this year. I'm
Right.
fighting with Howard Hughes, but
Right.
yeah. So
What's your vision for F45 in Hawaii as a state?
hmm,
You thinking about taking the outer islands too, or
I was going to take it to Kauai, and that was going to be my ticket home.
Yeah.
So
That's
we'll
where I'm
see.
going. You and I are gonna go roll in Kauai
Let's
together.
go.
Yeah, Waimea, bro. Kaleho, Waimea.
Kalaheo.
Yeah.
I still have the house in Kalaheo,
Yeah.
actually. But, I don't have vision at 45. My vision is, that's why I had Jason come here too as well, is that my vision is to sell these things, still be part of them,
Yeah.
and maybe open another one. And the vision is to create something that we can get these communities we talk about
Yeah.
for the kids that can't pay for it.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
that and I.
So that's the ultimate goal that I mentioned when I introduced you. I got this piece of information from your LinkedIn, and this is tell us a little bit about your vision for that. And do me a favor, come a little bit closer to the microphone.
Sorry.
Yeah, you have such a sexy
Robert,
voice.
I know he is. Dad,
Robert
I hate
Downey
him.
Jr..
He's good looking. He's tall. He's got a beautiful wife. He's got a beautiful phone. He's got money. He's got everything.
I don't have money.
Actually, I read an article about you, and you had about 800. At some point, you had like 800. At some point, you had 800
Members?
right?
Yeah, we were actually.
This is
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
This is for Hawaii. It's like mind blowing. When I read the article and I saw 800, I'm like, what?
You're doing the math. You're doing the math.
Immediately I do the math. Of course, I do the math.
Business.
I know, Jonathan. He's like,
No, I'm gonna think about how many lives he changed. Of course, I'm gonna think about how much money he made.
Yeah.
Hey, I gotta stay true to the juice.
Yeah. You gotta represent.
Gotta represent.
Let me share something cool about that. So I use the Passion Planner.
Yeah.
And, and I write out the goals. And one of my goals for CrossFit, and if I hit it, there probably wouldn't have been no F45. which is okay, but I didn't. So I would write 300 members, year of 2013, 300 members, 300 members, and I would stay at like 80, 60, 100, and F45 comes along. We start our marketing package that they make us do. Day one, I realized that I effed up by partnering with this guy. And he's trying to he's already manipulating our staff, saying that Shane doesn't own it, just some crazy stuff. And I realized I cannot stay around with this guy. And within a grand opening, which I was around the first month, grand opening, we had 300 members.
Wow.
And then other things to that this goes back to talking about business and life goals. I would write things, and I would be truthful to myself, because I would write things that my flesh wouldn't really want to do, but I knew it was the right thing. Back to True North.
Yeah.
One was get married. I did not want to get married again.
Yeah.
But I knew it was the right thing for my kids to know that I don't want them to be like.
So you get remarried with the woman that you live right now, and
Yeah.
you have kids with her.
Yeah. So we have a son, and but I didn't want to do it, but I wrote it down anyways. And then within that year, everything that I wrote down that took 10 plus years or even more, they just started dropping. Harley Davidson. I never thought I'd ever own one of those. Or buying a house. And honestly, I didn't want to buy a house because I didn't want the debt. But I know my wife wanted one, and all these things just kind of fell. I always fail every year. 20 plus years, honestly. Actually, yeah, 20 plus years of that. But anyways, I always wrote down.
Well,
those
if someone out there is listening and understand, they need to understand that overnight success came with 10 years of hard work. A lot of people say, he opened F45 and there he goes. He has all the membership. No, motherfuckers. No. That's not how it happened. It was 20 years of suffering, of working hard, of waking up early, of going to work, of sacrificing, of not doing, until I got to that point. And I think, there's always a misconception when they see someone is, successful.
Yeah.
They're like, no, motherfuckers. No. Let's rewind.
Yeah. Can I share something with the audience? I think it's important because until I forgot, I'll give you his name in a minute. Blink. He wrote a book, Blink.
Oh.
And he talks about the key. He's an author, and he does a lot of research. And have you heard about 10,000 hour?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, what he learned, he observed everything. He did research on greatness. Everything doesn't matter from athlete to whatever greatness. He discovered that the average time to put in something is 10,000 hours. Right?
Wow.
So if you take a look at black belt, Jason, congratulations.
Congratulations, Jason.
Aquino, Island Jiu-Jitsu, Aptos Jiu-Jitsu. Just really think of how many hours you put on the mat. It's 10,000 hours. So it take about 10,000 hours for us to do whatever that is, for us to even get to base. Not even to be successful, just 10,000 to be competent at things. If you want to be great, right? If you look at Kelly Slade, look, anybody who's great is beyond 10,000 hours. So for all of us out there who actually own businesses or whatever the goal you have, realize, and you and I witness, this chair has been magical, right? Everyone sitting out there, you hear the same shit. It's the hard work. It's the grind. You got CEO of the year. How many years you been doing your shit? Notice this. Since you got here, how many years is that?
13.
13 years, right? And how many hours that is? It's beyond 10,000 hours. It took you 13 years to become CEO of the year in this town, right? And if you want to do something else, shift your gear, 13 more years.
10,000 hours.
10,000 hours.
Shit.
I know. So
if I want to be a ballerina, that's 10,000 hours right there. Shit, I gotta reconsider.
Right, Shane? I mean, look at
No,
your
that's true.
No, look at Shane. Look, I'm just listening to Shane. Look at your life's journey, right? Marine, all that, and here you are, and you still feel like you're not there, right?
far.
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
But do you think that being in the Marines has actually helped you to have such a strong-minded approach to what you do, to
Great
the mission?
question. Great question.
Not really. I don't. On the Marines, here's the deal. Like Kauai, back in the 80s, you really didn't have to go to school, and I still graduated with a C average or something. And again, I didn't never read a book. I never did any homework, so I learned on how to do less. Kind of like, and they teach that in Hawaii, and I probably in the world. They teach you to do as little as you can and get paid as much as you can. Hence why our freaking government is effed up.
Yep.
And majority of our state workers are. Forgive me, because I have tons of my friends and I love you guys. But the ones that I don't know, that it's breeding mediocrity. And why? Because if the government and the wealth can let people do nothing, then they're the ones that are going to do it.
Yeah.
Hence what's happening now in our society. So,
Yeah.
it's like...
You see, the fact that I know Dewey, I know myself, I know people like you, we're trying to do as much as we can. We're trying to do as much as we can, right? If we have a project, we want to do as much as we can. We want to do it the best way we can do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there is, and I don't know if it's millennials or if it's a Hawaii thing or an American thing, but yeah, when I moved here, I realized that people are trying to do as least as possible and make as much. And I understand the logic, but come on.
But that doesn't really work, does it? For long
Never.
term?
Well, no, it's a
Never long term.
curse. It's oppression.
I think by the end of the day, like anything else, it's like you're going to be 50 this year. I got you beat it by a few years. By the end of the day, we fast forward until like we're 80, right? We go back and look at our time. The only thing we're going to be proud of is how much effort that we'll put into our life, right? So effort means hard work. But when you cheat effort, deep inside there's a little voice that goes, oh, you don't feel good about who you are. Because you're living, again, an untruth, unauthentic life. So I'm hoping this show is about expressing to the world, hopefully our community, that, hey, guys, there's no shortcut.
There's no shortcuts.
Yeah, you're going to grind, you're going to fail, but hopefully you're surrounded with a bunch of wonderful people, build a community that help lift you and be there for when you fail. Not to give you anything else, but you can do it. Let's do this again. Maybe I'll be behind you this time. And that's what it's all about, I think, right? Yeah. And I think what I love about you, and I love what you trying to do, is you're so clear with your life path, Shane. He's like, hey, listen, I love F45, I love the business side of it, but that's not my true calling. My true calling is what you read at the beginning of this podcast, is you want to be, that's why I love Guy Hawkins, you want to be a man of community. You want to be here to support all, because you grew up shithole like all of us in Kauai, right? That you want to provide a better path for these kids didn't have the opportunity that you had, right? And that's what it's all about. So I think, man, if I was out there thinking about going join something, go join F45.
Hell yeah.
Because whatever you're gonna do now, you're on record. You're on Kikoa podcast. You're Aloha Hour. So Shane, and one thing I love about you, Shane, is you're a man of your word. And I can feel the passion. I can feel the authenticity of who you are as a person,
Well, how hard was it, when I saw you doing some posts on your Instagram and stuff, but I want to really understand is the state tells you your business is not essential, you cannot do your business, you got to shut down. Landlord sends you invoice, pay me the rent. You like, where do I gonna get this money from? And I know that you're in a pickle because the PPP was based on payroll, but you don't have a payroll because you have a couple of coaches. But your main thing is like you working all day, every day
with Jason.
With Jason. With Jason.
Yeah.
So it's like there wasn't even I think like there wasn't even a structure, like a template.
to help people with gyms. And we saw what happened to 24 Fitness. They're out, they're gone, bankruptcy, right? I mean, I saw the line out the door of that purple place. What's called the purple place?
Oh,
In Ala Moana Center.
yeah.
I don't go there.
Something Planet Fitness.
Yeah.
Ah, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I'm like, what? Who the fuck wants to train in there? Sorry.
Yeah.
Who the fuck wants to train in there?
Yeah. No.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that I'm a very lazy person, honestly.
Don't
So-
say that.
No, like
He's been humble, but I understand what you're trying to tell me.
so that's the thing. If I had my choice,
Yeah.
it's not my choice. I would watch Netflix. I'd drink whiskey. I'd go skate. I'd go fish and do nothing. And you know,
Of course, because you're originally from Kauai, but
you know, so yeah, eat a lot of chocolate and yeah. So like when honestly, I think I needed a break when COVID happened, and I went back to like I didn't care. I said F it, and I just said, you know what, it's gonna pull through. And I have a 1-year-old at that time. I'm like, thanks. I'm gonna-
Yeah.
I have time to be with my.
Yeah, so I didn't do squat for like 3 months. And then, you know, Jason actually carried the fort, and Zane with F45 started doing online things. I did get into a depression thing, definitely.
Me too.
Yeah.
And now I'm like the last person that I thought I would be in that emotional state. Because I
Yeah.
always thought, you know what, you know better. But at the end of the day, I'm like you, man. I feel like this light inside is dimming.
Yeah.
I'm antisocial. I feel like I'm just lethargic. I'm not the same person that I know that I normally am, you know. And I'm
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
But I think because we're
I think more than half of the nation
oh yeah.
was in your state. They just don't know it.
Yeah.
You're mature or smart enough to realize it.
But I think
But 80% of our nation was in that
Yeah.
state, and they maybe still are.
yeah, but I don't think
They
we
are.
understand the
Yeah.
effect of this thing in our society, in our country yet. I mean, our children and the teacher. I mean, there's years of these consequences.
Oh,
gonna-
100%.
I don't think we're not there yet. But I think it's so important for everyone out there who are listening to this show, kind of go, hey, it's okay. We're imperfect human,
Yeah.
you know, and we're in this unprecedented time. So whatever it's going on right now, it's okay to say, yeah, I'm lazy. I'm not motivated, you know. And for you to say that publicly, I'm with you, man. We're not. It's okay, you know. We're not superhero, you know. We're not whatever that is on Instagram. By the end of the day, our wives and children know who we are, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think in a time like that, you need to be a Superman. You know,
Yeah.
you need to have superpowers, because this situation is very unprecedented,
Yeah.
very negative,
Yeah.
and we need to be composed, positive, and you know, this podcast came because of COVID. We had time.
No, because of you. I mean, you're the one that got home. Hey, let's do that.
Well, let's uplift the people.
Yeah, I know.
Let's
So-
show them that there is future.
Yeah.
That you can.
But part of showing people what can is acknowledge the truth that hey, we're down temporarily, but
Yeah.
deep inside who we are at this table, we're not Debbie Downer.
Yeah.
But it's okay to accept. It's okay, you know.
Yeah.
And we're gonna rise again. You know, we're
Yeah.
gonna rise again. But we need each other. We
was
need
your-
the community.
Was your first 3 months of depression, like when we went into the corona, was it the first 3 months?
Yeah, it was the first 3 months, and then
Because
I
the first
just-
3 months was the craziest.
Not for me.
No?
It was the last 3 months been the worst. I was
What?
great. I mean, I did, you know, the first from March until like August and September, I was good.
Cruising?
No, I was positive. I was like, hey, this is gonna pass, and then it got harder and harder. Surfing didn't cure it. I was missing jiu-jitsu. That didn't cure it. Like nothing cured it. Then I have to go back into deep within myself and begin, and then have a bunch of spiritual awakening, which you know, and then I'm way better now than ever, to be honest with you. But yeah, it's totally normal.
So you had time to look even deeper and go inside yourself, and
I had no choice.
Yeah.
Because I know my light was dimming. My light bulb was like, okay, I'm cranked to 10, but it's like, hey, you know, I'm surfing perfect waves and like, I was great for that moment, right? And then next day, not there, right? It was not rejuvenating.
Nah.
Yeah, so I had to go spend a lot of time within myself.
Did you feel the same? Was it the last 3 or the first 3?
I think it was the first 3 when we got to reopen, because I didn't train jiu-jitsu. You know, went from jiu-jitsu every day to like nothing,
None,
and then
yeah, I
even
know.
surfing a little bit. So for 3 months, I think it was definitely onset personally because of the stuff I was doing. I was eating ice cream every day and drinking whiskey and tequila, whatever.
You fat fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, then
Mark Wahlberg would be very unhappy right now.
yeah. Yeah, and then we reopened, and then I lost my team at Kapolei, so I had to like pretty much run the team Kapolei. Jason ran Kahala, and then that's what. And I always knew about Nito, and Nito was close to Kapolei, so I just started training with him. That got me back going, and hence what happened with Nito now at Kahala. But
Tell the audience that
Yes,
Nito
please.
opened.
Yeah, please.
Yeah,
This
so-
is so important. He just opened, so go ahead.
yeah. So the CrossFit I had in, I had to either give up that location, or think of something. So then that's when I talked to Nito. I was like, hey, how about doing some stuff in Kahala? And he's like, hell yeah, I have all these people here. And then it just happened. And so actually,
So you divided the gym into 2 portions, and then
kind of, his blew up more. So now it's pretty much going to be all Nito and then Sojourn Jiu-Jitsu, which is Jason,
so there's no more.
Wait, what's the name
F45
of
in
it?
Kahala?
There is. So
Yeah.
there's actually F45, and then I have 1,000 square feet. That's where Nito's at. And then that's where Sojourn Jiu-Jitsu's at, which is going to be the hub of creating our nonprofit. That Sojourn Jiu-Jitsu is we're teaching Jiu-Jitsu to teach kids. And our first kids are going to be the low-hanging fruit in Kahala, like kids that we might even know that don't have parents or parents, around. Create that. And then take my CrossFit. Majority of the I didn't sell any of it, but I probably will sell some now. But take that and then create a gym, and that gym's going to be 100% nonprofit for the kids, and that's why with COVID thing, I've been wanting to do this for a long time, since my daughter was 6 months and she's 20 now, so. It gave us and then talking on your podcast
Yeah.
and different things is like, why are we waiting?
Right.
Because the big vision is to be, I say Hawai'i, because that I just found out by Uncle Kimo guys, freaking mafia guys are taking their boats up to Hawai'i and just taking kids.
Oh,
Yeah, and so, but those are real bad guys.
yeah.
So there's if we can save a few of those kids.
Yeah.
100%.
That's one kid, and honestly, I don't.
Hey, if you ever recruit a team of savages, I served in the military for 3 years. If you want to stop something, you let me know.
And Rico, Jason, Rico's in. We talked about this. We'd meet every Friday before COVID, and one day I realized I'm like, bro, we're gonna have to kind of carry guns one day, because we're gonna deal with people that are brutal.
Yeah.
If you're gonna steal a kid, they're willing to kill you.
You know the team in Utah that does that? You heard about them? There's like
the railroad, railroad.
Yeah,
project?
ex-military guys that just fighting against.
Yeah, he's a CIA agent. Actually, I just found out that he has a movie on Prime, Amazon Prime right now.
Oh no way!
Yeah, I'll forward you the link because I saw it on. Yeah, that's what kind of really struck my nerve because what was his name? Tony Robbins interviewed him and got money towards him. And the stories, oh man, you listen to Tony Robbins talking with that guy, dude, you're crying the whole way through. It's freaking brutal. And that's happening in Hawaii.
Yeah.
It's happening in every school in Hawaii.
Yeah.
That's
Ned
insane.
Puno and Lani, I don't think are not. They're not
Affected.
Is affected
No,
as
they
much.
are.
They are.
I don't know, but one of those schools had a trafficking of 25 teens that were getting prostituted out of them. It was one of those 3.
I can't even go there because I have Ryza and I have all these people that was involved in Kakoa podcast early on. And when I heard that, I can't process. You and I are father, and so are you with daughters.
2 daughters.
I know. It's like, I just can't even comprehend. I have to like
We need the death penalty.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
Oh,
100%,
100%.
Or a big pig farm.
Yeah. Plenty nada coolies. It's plenty nada coolies. Yeah, but I think it's so. I'm with you 1,000%. I think a lot of us out there are 1,000%. We have to do something, you know.
Isn't there this house that was open? What's his name? Hala.
Oh, Pua Hale.
Yeah.
Hale Pua.
Halepanan.
Pua.
Yeah.
I always it's Napua.
Something.
I know.
just watched-
They
yeah.
raised like
Pula
$3 million.
Napua,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
they have
actually,
like
I see that. Yeah, it's right past VLAN.
Yeah.
Right? You can see they're working on it, but it's we have the director on our show and Kikoa podcast, and it was just. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm always happy doing podcasts. I left out podcasts. It's almost like in denial. How could that be in our own home? But it's like we're getting deep now. But it was like by the end of the day, it comes back. How do we? I'm always thinking about solution, right? So by the end of the day, how do we resolve this, right? The only way we can resolve this is like have happy human grow in a loving family. So therefore, when they grow up. Because whatever happened in trauma in childhood, it manifests itself in many different ways. Yeah, and this is what happened. So it's come back to us as men first, that we have to be honorable men, right? As father, as husband first. And then after that, it's about really making sure our children have great self-esteem. Because all these kids grew up in broken homes. And that's what happened, And in Hawaii, we have these two dynamics. Economics is one of them, right? Number two is education, right? So until you resolve the economic issue, I mean, it's tough for family. So it's going to be a long battle, but I'm so glad you're willing to take it on. And you and I talk about this on our podcast, but that's.
The fact that you say that you wanted to do that since your daughter was 6 months old and now she's 20, that means that for 19 years you pursued this kind of dream and didn't have an easy life. You had to work really hard to stay positive and still want to help your community. I mean, this is something that is super admirable. I mean,
but then many of us, there's everyone is in this chair, like you and I witnessed. We all want the same thing in our community. The Aloha Hour podcast is bringing light that there's so many people out there in different CrossFit life, that wants to do this in our community because we love our community, we love our home, we love our aina, we love everything about it. And having you is one of those business owner continue to pursue that dream and willing to share with everyone here. I don't think we can ask for more. I don't think it's an overnight issue. I think it's a long-term issue because when you're trying to fix human in long-term, it's tough.
a process.
Yeah, it's a process.
It takes, But maybe you share with us a little bit. I know it was a tough process to get your 501c3 nonprofit organization permit. Right?
Well, I mean, for us at Kikoa, Kikoa was born just like it came about with the same thing. It was like feeling like, listen to Shane, I was lost in my life. I had a dream job. I had one of those magical life. I had a dream job in a surf company, and I traveled the world, and I get to build and help mentor all these amazing people. When I got laid off 2010, I have to relook at myself, just like you did, right? Like, what am I doing in my life? What now? Right? And then the same thing, corporate job, and I realized, oh my God, the leadership in corporate America is broken because the education system is broken, and part of the leadership is all about who we are. So, well, if you come from a broken family and broken home, you're not going to be a great leader because. All you want to do is survive and do everything by yourself. But leadership is about selflessness, about serving, right? So until you figure that all out. So I go, okay, Kikoa in 2009 was about promoting jiu-jitsu. Kikoa in 2016, when we relaunched with Aubrey and I, was about how do we make a difference in the world? Because I was going through emotional change and spiritual awakening. And I go, okay, this is what we got to do. But for us to do... So
you also realize that your happiness will come by giving to others.
My happiness always been that because I was an immigrant. I came here with fucking nothing. Zero, nothing. Your father served in Vietnam, right? And
He was before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So so I had nothing. So I knew early on that it was like my life was not about material things. But until we look at ourselves internally as business owners, we talk about conscious leadership. Last time we talked is about what do we do in this lifetime, and how do we spend this lifetime to create greater good. He mentioned, Martin Luther King, Gandhi. It's the same thing. So for us to really truly live our life dream, we need to create a nonprofit inside Kekoa. So my goal is sitting in this podcast. Remember, you and I started, I have a hidden agenda. My hidden agenda was simple: influence Garrett, who is Maui Brewing, everyone sitting at this table who's a business owner. Look, you and I can take our money with us at a certain point. Enough is enough, right? And we got in this world today is because we have too much a disparity between this gap, right? So if the nonprofit was about moving profit into this nonprofit, and then we can take this money, do exactly what Shane wants to do. Shane, you need resources.
So your idea for Kekoa was, let's say you make 100,000, you take 30 for operational costs, but 70 you give to the community to help.
Well, our goal is 30% goes to our employees and our people, because that's our family. 30 for expansion and growing and operating. The other 30 goes towards community. This is where I live. This is what I eat. This is where I'm going to die. If I don't water my own grass, what do I have? Nothing. So that's the whole goal. The whole goal is how do we get all these business owners like Shane? And Shane's all in. Jason's all in. All these guys are all in. And that's what we're going to do one day. Like, imagine all of us, right, have this kitty, and we go, okay, what's most important in our community? Let's do this. If we wait for Uncle Sam, good luck. We wait for the government, good luck. No, but finally 3 years later we got it, so we have it. So now we just got to make money. Unlike you already made money from day one. But I'm the other guy.
I'm selling caffeine.
Yeah.
Everybody needs caffeine. It's a legal drug. You sell fashion. It's a little bit more challenging.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this. So it is actually hard to get the 501c3 permit to become a nonprofit?
Yes.
The process itself, it's a challenging process?
Yes.
Wouldn't they want to encourage and make it easy for nonprofit, or they're thinking about the scamming?
Yes. What happened was the religious group, there's so many companies
Fuck
out.
Scientology.
Actually, there was a great.
Ruin it for everybody.
Yeah, that's a great podcast right now on Joe Rogan about Scientology. Yeah, he's a great reporter. You should listen to it. Anyway, so yeah, but it's not easy. It's the government really scrutinize who you are as a company, because everybody create nonprofit. Just like we had Access Surf yesterday, one of the directors here. What I love about them is every dollar, you can actually, by the way, for everyone out there donating money to nonprofit, there's a website you can go on. I forgot what the name of it. You can Google and find out how much dollar percentage go actually to the ultimate user.
Yeah.
A lot of nonprofit, man, it pays for all the employees that mention everything else because they don't have to pay taxes on it.
Have you ever seen how much the Goodwill CEO makes?
Yes. Same thing
Have
with
you
Red
ever
Foot.
seen fucking Red Cross CEO?
Susan Coleman.
What?
I used to be this huge supporter of.
Fuck!
I know,
Yeah,
but it's
Susan,
wrong. It's
fuck
wrong.
Susan.
I know, but that's my point. My point is, like, again, same thing. So we have to be. Yeah. So that's all. The whole idea is how do we create this business model, conscious capitalism. I love capitalism. I love making money.
Conscious capitalism. You heard it here first, everybody. Conscious capitalism.
You know what it's all about, Shane? By the end of the day, it's like our children grows up. The next generation can see, wow, I can have this fulfillment. Like, yeah, you won your house, your car, all that shit. But we all know none of that brings that ain't really fulfilling, right? It's touching lives that what matters. That's saving these kids, give these kids hope, just like Kara said yesterday. Right? That's what it's all about. So it is a long process, and they do scrutinize. They look at everybody on the board directly, look at everybody on there, and they go deep. And we find, God, 3 years later, thank you, Jeff, thank you, Clifton, you know, and we got it. So now we can actually beginning to, you know, once we make money, we can begin to do all these things, you know. And I'm going to spend a lot of in jiu-jitsu because I think jiu-jitsu really changed lives.
Do you also want to use jiu-jitsu to help the kids? Because I think jiu-jitsu, you're right, is like a world-changing for everyone. It changed my world, you know, when I was like, I don't know, 32.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what Jason's here for. That's what we're doing. You know, I remember we were talking, and Jason, I've been to brown belt for 12 years.
A brown belt for 12 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then
I'm following you, Jason. I've been around since 2013.
I started in 95, and I'm a purple belt.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a purple belt? Yeah, you.
I purple in defense, white belt in offense. But yes, so jiu-jitsu, the whole thing would be a community center. So it'd have CrossFit, if you will, maybe F45. We'll see whoever, it doesn't matter. It'll be a fitness program, definitely jiu-jitsu, boxing, surfing, hula. So the key is to create communities for these kids. So they have adults that care and adults that know. So
Yes.
in the big dream, we'll even have doctors on staff, and my wife is one of them. So clinical psychs, and then but the low-hanging fruit is jiu-jitsu right now, and that's what Sojourn Jiu-Jitsu that's operating with the Nito's Boxing during the day. Right now I have a team of people that we're working on doing it properly. And then I even have one of my coaches coming out. She writes grants, so she'll go for a grant, and then we'll probably even try, again, low-hanging fruit. We can't go to the west side yet, but we'll probably try to get something right in our same location in Kahala, which we could serve this community here.
Are
And-
there actually people in Kahala that need help?
I wouldn't say Kahala, but Kaimaki,
Palolo.
Yeah,
Palolo needs a
Palolo.
lot of
Yeah,
help.
100%.
Waikiki.
Yeah.
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 Dude, I just watched a video on YouTube. Waikiki at midnight street fight. Have you watched that?
No. Is it
Dude.
good?
Dude, they're like drunk as fuck and they're like swinging and they're on the middle of the street.
Yeah.
And it takes about 8 minutes for 6 police cars to arrive.
Yeah.
And up until then, someone is filming it and rah.
It's
I'm
good.
telling you, Waikiki at night, now when there's no tourists, is scary. It's super sketchy.
Oh, it's sketchy even with the tourist.
Yeah.
Yes, but like
Yeah.
when there's a tourist and there's like, you know,
You don't
stores are
see it.
open and everything is fun. And
Everybody
it's-
more conscientious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now, shee.
Listen, Shane, I've always been a fan. Admire your conviction to your belief. And I think we need more of that. We need more CEO, we need more owners, we need entrepreneur. And I think, I hope this episode kind of paint this picture of, listen, without consciousness, we're not living life to the fullest extent, you know. But we have entrepreneurs out conscious and really intent why we're here, what we do, and how we spend our money, and how we build tribes, and how we elevate others is everything. And
I think also what you said about truth is
Yeah.
so true.
yeah,
You got to find your own truth, and then you can kind of.
absolutely. Isn't
That-
it?
yeah, that's
Isn't
so
it
true.
right? Yeah, and
It's
for
still
you-
lingering in my head since you said it. It's so true.
Yeah, because I mean, I know it's easy for me because I get to spend time with Shane and Jason the second time around. But the first time I spent time with Shane and Jason, I was like, they left our house, and I go, those men's gonna do great things in this lifetime in our community.
Hell yeah.
I always be a fan, and I can tell you right now, Nito sat in this chair. If you know anything about Nito background, it's the same thing. Nito came from nothing. Remember you drinking the women and all that? Same thing. And he could be Olympian, you know, but it takes failure. It takes us, you know. I always learn, you know, in my old days, one of the greatest mentors I had, like, without despair, there's no resolution. So until you hit bottom, nothing's going to happen.
I somewhat believe that.
But until then, you realize the divine, you know, whatever that is. I'm not talking about religion.
Do you feel you had to hit rock bottom to be able to rise?
No, I think because I came from a good family, and it just went. It hit my heart first, and I did end up going getting busted one time and going to jail and sitting there. I'm like, oh fuck, you're like it sucked. And
That's kind of a
you
bottom.
know, that was a
Being in jail
bottom.
is a little bit
That's
bottom.
a bottom, my friend Shane.
Yeah.
I don't know what you think, but that's a fucking bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Small kind like that.
Small kind bottom.
But yeah.
Yeah. Right? I mean, I don't think
Yeah,
you'd be
but-
the person you are today, the father you are, and the husband you are today to Mimi and Wolf without those experiences. I know I didn't. There's no way. I was an asshole. I'm still an asshole.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it goes back to True North too. Is like because I battle daily. Like my mind goes, especially when you get really tired.
Yeah.
You want to do selfish things, and that's what social media is promoting right now. 100% everything's selfish. They say they're doing something for a cause. It's only for their personal reason.
Yeah.
Like I really don't want to go and help kids. It's not, this is gonna be so fun. It's scary.
Yeah.
And then if I was a multimillionaire and doing things, and didn't have that dream, I'd be on a jet ski finding waves and fishing, stuff like that. But it's not about that. It's about that True North is find a passion that, that you are the one that has to do it.
Yeah.
And I was telling Jason, when we fail at doing what we're saying we're doing, that's why I always will talk about it, because then we have to do it.
Yeah.
But
That's
people
true.
are suffering when we don't do it.
Yeah.
Kids are dying. They're getting raped when we don't do what we're doing.
Yep.
One kid is going to get raped in the next 10 years and probably could have been saved if we did it. We won't see those things, but that's the freaking truth.
Yep.
When we're not serving somebody, people are dying, and they're going from the stuff that you don't want your own family to go through. And so,
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. I mean, I don't. Hey, listen, it's been
Sorry.
crap.
Aloha,
It's been
hour
like
half.
more than an hour and a half.
A little hour and a half.
Yeah. We gotta change our sign, dude. That lower hour is the lower 90.
The lower 90.
Yeah, the lower 120.
Well, Shane, thank you so much for coming in. It's been a real pleasure, and I think the information that you bring to the table is amazing. Thank you for sharing, Dewey, today.
yeah, of course.
Helping those people out there, the people that is watching. This is
I want to make sure that I want to give Nito a shout out too, because I think a lot of Nito has got a great gym in on the west side, and right now he's in Kahala, and Nito boxing and F45 is in the same space, so
and the jiu-jitsu.
yeah, and Sojourn.
Sojin.
Ooh. Sojourn. Wow, that's a beautiful name. That's like
SOJOURN. So
Sojourn.
get on the Instagram, yeah.
Sojourn Jiu-Jitsu by a fresh new black belt, Jason Aquino.
All right.
One of the most beautiful men that I hold deeply love in my heart. And I think for everyone out there, man, support Nito, Sojourn Jiu-Jitsu, F45. I think these three men, community men. And
And the community should support community men.
I hope so. They
They
I
should see
think
the
this whole little hour is about that. It's like, how do we beginning to elevate and help and hug one another, help each other heal, so therefore one day we can look at our next generation, these happy children, continue to elevate and continue this journey that you sacrifice so much, that's what it's all about, so I thank you.
With that positive note,
Yeah.
we, the Aloha Hour, want to award Mr. Shane, the one and only, the Aloha Hour Hama Award. This is for you.
He's great at defense, not enough at offense. Yeah, that's okay.
You have that for the offense.
Yeah, that is.
Thank
the
you, man,
offense.
for coming in.
dude,
We
that's
truly
sick.
think you won Hama.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh.
And
Yeah, you.
And before we're going to let you go, we're going to have 5 what would you rather questions for you. I hope you are ready, Shane Davies. You ready?
Yeah.
All right.
I think.
What would you rather?
Be an exotic dancer or an exotic gangster?
Oh, dancing for sure. Look at him.
yeah.
Look at him.
Yeah.
I'll go Mahu to see him naked. Hell yeah.
Exotic dancer, hell yeah!
Yeah. Dancer because you always got to maintain your figure and you're always serving people.
Yeah, that's right.
Gangster, you gotta
Yeah,
lay
it's the
that
other
out.
way. Yeah. That's not you. That's
Yeah,
not you.
Right on.
You're right.
Yeah.
See?
What would you rather, be fluent in all languages or be able to play all instruments?
Fluid in all languages.
Nice, nice. What would you rather, be the winner of American Ninja Warrior or the winner of American Idol?
Oh, Ninja Warrior, dude.
What would you rather, hire Donald Trump as the new head coach or Donald Duck?
Oh, Donald Duck. Donald, I don't know. Wait, Donald Trump's pretty funny too, so I don't know.
All right, and last but not least, what would you rather, have Mark Wahlberg's flawless body or Mark Wahlberg's flawless bank account?
Oh, flawless bank account. Yeah.
Right on. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank
Shane,
you.
it was a great pleasure. Dewey, Brett, great pleasure. Jason, yes, Dewey.
No, nothing. That's when I said thank you and
Oh, thank you.
peace
guys.
out, man. Well,
Peace out.
What a great hour.
We love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We love you.
Cheers.
Aloha.
Aloha. Aloha.